Yep, minorities are the problem, but let's take a look at the numbers here. Now, 51% of the population in the US are female. 51% are middle class, about 30% are lower income, 20% is Hispanic, 14% is Black African American, about 10% is LGBTQ. So you get down to the 0.00034%, which are billionaires. So yeah, that's the minority, but they just so happen to be a minority that owns a majority of all the wealth here. So the top 1% own about 35% of the wealth in the US. The top 10%, which is including multi-millionaires, own 70%. 70% of the wealth in the US. Y'all forget about Iran. We're at war, but we have been at war for decades now here in the US. They're using a brilliant tactic. It's in the Art of War. That's a 5th century Chinese book. It works perfectly if you're a minority that owns a majority of wealth. What you do is you take the majority and you slice it up like pie. You make them believe they're minorities, and then you have them pointing fingers at each other. We've been doing that, y'all. And yes, we're divided in any way possible. They will divide us, including race, but including every shade. So even the Irish, even the Italian, even the Jews, when they came into the US, faced a similar kind of minority classification. And we have to remember this, because we're losing this war, and we're never going to win when we don't even know who the enemy is. And I'll leave you with a couple of more numbers. The unemployment rate right now is about 4.3%. And we're at each other's throats about this migrant situation. But just remember this, in the 1850s, the unemployment rate was about 4.5%, so just slightly higher. The 1850s was also, we were straight up in the middle of slavery imports to this country. So think about that, y'all, because these migrants that we think are stealing our jobs, the same argument could have been made about the slaves that were being brought over. They were taking jobs. They were using resources, right? But what was true then that is true today is that they're actually providing more of a benefit than what they're taking away from us. And the people at the top know this. But the funny thing is that when you do the research on the Civil War, never once was it mentioned that we need to end slavery because they were taking jobs. They were a burden on society. That just didn't seem to be an issue, but for some reason it is now, even though the unemployment rate was slightly higher back then than it is today. Every time I see a TikTok or some video where someone's saying, you're the problem, instead of saying, we know who the problem is, it's just a reminder that we're still losing. We're not even coming close to realizing who the enemy is. If you like this kind of stuff, give me a like and a follow.